Hello everybody, my name is Pravus and welcome back to more Hearts of Iron 4 Battle for the Bosporus, playing as the Ottoman Empire. New week, new recording session for me. Real quick, want to apologize about the quality of the audio in the last couple of videos. It's a weird thing that happens sometimes with my mic setup where I actually have like a meeting with, let's say in this case, my manager over at YouTube Corporate. And for some reason, it just like tweaks with some of the settings from a microphone, and I don't notice it until afterwards, and it's like, oh wow, this thing is clipping like heck. Yeah, it was bad. Anyways, so where were we? Right, we are fighting against the Soviet Union. Now, I would love nothing better than to cut off the Germans as quickly as we can so that I can end this war on my own terms. But I suspect it's going to be at least a while we are still fighting against the Soviets. Now, the good news is we are building up some compliance through a collaboration government. That's going to be about 28 days to go. When that happens, it's going to be a little bit easier to make them capitulate. That will be nice. I'm not going to automatically repeat this, though, because I may want to reevaluate. If I think that I can quickly set up another one, that'd be great. But this war could theoretically be over in the next 4 or 5 months. Would it be better instead to do the exact same thing against, oh, I don't know, the German Reich? It's hard to say. We'll kind of reevaluate that as we go. In the meantime, though, I think the Soviets are kind of running scared. Let's swap over to the right map mode there, and we're just going to continue pushing like freaking heck. As long as they're going to give me ground, I'm going to take it. Improved anti-tank upgrade. That'll be very, very useful against the Germans. We could go ahead and upgrade that, and I think we'll go ahead and research the upgrade, because, I mean, really, why not? I am concerned that we don't have anywhere near enough anti-air. We should probably pull back on something. In this case, I'm thinking maybe support equipment. We can pull back at least a few factories on that and start working more aggressively toward our anti-air. I think that's worthwhile. We do not need to be trading for any of the rubber anymore, but we should continue trading for steel wherever possible. Manchukuo, you'll do fine. Let's trade for one with you and one with you, and that should be enough to get me above my 10. Perfect. All right, would love to cut through here around the Caucasus Mountains and see if we can cut these guys off. So far, doesn't appear to be going especially well. In the meantime, we are costing ourselves a lot of equipment, so we should probably slow our roll a little bit and not go too aggressively over here. There are a couple of places where we can push. Let's say along here, for example, that would be fine. You guys, don't freeze up on me. There we go. You guys can get over here. We're going to try to get over to Rostov, and we're going to see if we can join our forces up, because I think that'll make my life just a little bit easier going forward. We're pretty much already there anyway, but still. For my defensive infantry, we need to make sure that we pull you guys all the way over here. Let's pull blue over this way as well. Or do we want to keep blue nice and tight? Actually, maybe I do want to do that. Let's keep blue actually where it is. Keep them fairly focused in where they are pushing. Sinkyong has capitulated, that's fine. I do not want to see any front lines here with the Germans, so we're going to want to pull this back. Again, not interested in actually helping them at all. Can you assist over here? You assist over here. Purple's already reworking themselves. Tanks, forget the river crossing for a second. Just help take these guys out and push them back. Then we can worry about going elsewhere. All of this still seems to be going fine. Orange has a free reign to push as much as they want. This is the wrong orange. This orange. I need to change up a couple of colors. Let's make this into yellow or something so it's a little easier to distinguish. There we go, that will do. Okay, so you guys are already pushing. You guys should be going somewhere. We're going to have one of these mountaineers actually go in that direction. We're going to grab this air base, which should make life easier. And this orange army is, it looks like, fully deployed and ready to go. So what we're going to do now, I think, is call in Iran to this war, which they will accept. The doink. And now, can we use them to push against the Soviets? And the answer should be a resounding yes. Light blue, which army are you? Oh, right, these guys all the way over here. I forgot about you. So you're going to go ahead and start pushing up this direction as well, because why not? Let's just go ahead and tell you to push. I mean, again, as much as I would love an encirclement, the Soviets are putting a lot of forces right here. It's not as feasible as it was before, so I don't think it's the best call. Supply-wise, we're doing fine. I'm surprised we're taking as much attrition as we are. I suspect it has mostly to do with a lot of units are redeploying themselves and not necessarily doing so in the most efficient manner. Can you actually stop? This is not worth fighting anymore. Let's just entrench and make sure we hold on to that. And of course, we will be still making use of jump cuts as liberally as I can to make sure that this clips along at a slightly better rate. I would like to end this series this week. Simply because the longer a series goes on, the worse it is for me. So I do need to do that. But at the same time, I mean, we got a real opportunity here. I'm gonna go for it, you know? I'm gonna go for it. We have a lot of air experience. As much as I was gonna save that air experience to upgrade my fighters later, it probably is worth spending some of it so we're not wasting the cap right now. So let's go ahead and increase the engine a little bit. And maybe range. Let's just upgrade the engine twice, I think. Just a little bit of extra agility and speed should be okay. We'll go ahead and start producing some of those. Range is not to be underestimated with fighters and stuff. It's very important to have as much control over the entire air zone as you can. But right now, we seem to be struggling with that just a little bit. So I am trying to produce more of the advanced anti-air. We are still not quite producing enough. So let's go ahead and toss on at least a few more factories here. We'll set that to 20 for now, at least until I feel like we've got our deficit more or less taken care of. And we should be capturing more factories as we go, so we'll make this work. Everything else, efficiency-wise, looks kind of fine. I'd like to get more transport planes than this, but I think for the moment we're all right. We're going to need a lot more light tanks. We're going to need a lot more of a lot of things, honestly. How are we doing as far as research? We're about to finish some upgrades for radar and for the naval bombers. Iran called in Afghanistan, whether I like it or not. Well, truth be told, that's fine, because I actually already had troops in this position, so, you know, that's fine. I don't like that other allies call people in. I feel like as the faction leader, I should get to make that decision. Just me. But they don't let me do things like that, so that's okay. What else do we want, really? We're already finishing up on the artillery front, so that's about as much as I would want. We could start researching the mediums, which is highly tempting. It would be worth researching logistics, and I can do this relatively quickly, because as we start getting further into the Soviet areas toward the undeveloped regions of Siberia and everything else, we know that logistics are going to become a problem. So getting some logistics researched ahead of time would make a lot of sense. I would love to get some more stability. I'm okay with reducing factory output temporarily, if we can do that. How is my... Okay, so yeah, the Germans are still trying to influence my politics, which I really don't appreciate at all. But what can you do? Planning speed... None of this seems absolutely crucial. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do some improved worker conditions for a bit. I'm going to try to get my stability up. Stability is good for a lot of different reasons, but also for factory output, for political power gain, and also to reduce resistance in a few areas. It takes a while to build this up, and it's one of the few ways that I can do it, so I'm going to. There goes South Africa! Bada boom! Let's get over here and make sure we clear this out. There shouldn't be anybody left. Let's make all of you just go ahead and dogpile on this guy. You didn't dogpile. Why do I click on this and sometimes I just abandon the line? It's like somehow they recalculate a little bit of their organization in a way that doesn't really favor me. Red, where are you currently going? Do you have... This is the only front lines you've got are these two. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up some new front lines. I'm thinking primarily here and over here with the goal of quickly taking down the German and the Spanish holdings in Africa, so I don't have to worry about them. Then we can redeploy them elsewhere when the time comes. So we'll do that. Let's make sure we get a quick offensive line like so, and a quick offensive line like so. Alright, so at least in Africa, when we inevitably betray the Axis, we will be prepared to remove all of their holdings here. That will be great. We still need to have a lot more troops up here to deal with the Germans and hold back their initial counter-attack. We are training up a load of troops for that exact purpose. So, I think we'll be okay as long as we can get more anti-air produced, and that's what I'm working on now. Oh, great. An agent was captured. Does this mean that I failed in my preparing of the collaboration government? Let me check something real quick. Let's take a quick look at the Soviets and everything else here. No, it did work. It did work. We have a 45% collaboration. It not only worked, it worked really well. Okay, so that did work as intended. Good, good, good. So with that much collaboration, what I think I do is I do indeed start spying in Berlin. We're going to rescue our operative, of course, hopefully before he dies, but we are going to try to possibly do the same thing with Germany to make it a lot easier to get them down in the future. We should also be upgrading this. We have not been doing pretty much anything up to this point. We could go for localized recruitment. I think that could make sense. We'll go ahead and start making some upgrades up there. But yeah, I do think it makes a lot of sense for me to try and get as many upgrades for my spies as possible. With 45% collaboration, that will make my life a lot easier to deal with the Soviets when we are done with that. I am trying really hard to rush forward with some of these guys to cut off the Germans as much as I can. But without good motorized, it's proving a little difficult. You can see they're still managing to outrun me. So we gotta go, like, really fast. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys to pull back off of this. Not relevant, really. Just get up over here, and we're gonna try to just get up toward Moscow, because I want to end this on my terms, right? That's the goal. Finish this on my terms in my timing, so that I don't have to let the Germans force the issue until I feel prepared for it. Oh, I just remembered something important. Okay, so forget this for a second, because this has nothing to do with Hearts of Iron 4, but it's something I want to show off, because I got something recently in the mail, and I'm very happy about it. It's a little cardboard Zergling! I got this guy recently. I don't know, I've ordered him like months ago, but I only just recently got this little guy, so I'm gonna hold on to him for a bit. Ah, he doesn't really want to stay up on my shoulder. We're gonna try this though. You good? Get up there? Okay, yes. Alright, anyway. Has nothing to do with the game. I need to make a Twitter post about it, but I'm excited about this guy. He's so stinking cute! You know what I mean? He's just the cutest little Zergling. Horrible man-eating monstrosities, but I love him. Now, see, this kind of works for me so far. I'm just kind of ignoring a lot of the front line and just pushing forward right now. And the Germans are coming in from the back line and actually just smashing some of these guys for me, so it's costing me practically nothing. We're going to send you guys all the way up here to Ryzev. If we can at least get, like, a surround on Moscow, you know? Do something kind of like this, that's fine. Not only that, of course, it's also a very effective way at just demolishing the Soviet Union anyway. Take out their capital, don't let them get any more supply generation, only good things can come from this arrangement. Let's also make sure we keep upgrading some of our tanks. Did I just see South Wales fell? I saw something about that. Where's South Wales? I would have assumed it was down here. Also, can we please note that, once again, we have friends. Alright, real quick then, let's just take you. I know I had you guys set up along the Alps, but let's actually go ahead and do this. We're going to move you all over here very briefly, and just set you up to quickly push out the Americans. You stay up there. Don't you fall. Don't you fall. You stay there. I need to, like, find a way to hook this guy onto my suit jacket. And he'll be like my parrot for the rest... Ah! Alright, forget it. For the rest of the campaign. But man, that guy is so stinking cute. I love him so much. The Red Apples of Sevres, whatever it's called. I don't know. Alright, so that's done. We could now go for Realize the Nightmare of Meiji, which would allow us to get some extra research bonuses for Marines, which can be very helpful. Also, a war goal against Japan. Not sure how thrilled I am to scare Japan preemptively, though. I don't want them feeling particularly aggressive. So, I'm debating whether it makes any sense to actually go for that right now. It may be better for me to go for things like the construction engineering, or perhaps resistance suppression, repair speed, tech, join faction research. I don't think my faction will have a whole lot. Division training time actually makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and make that swap. And we'll do that instead. I don't want to lose the base stability of this, by the way. Does that seem very good? We could start doing some anti-fascist raids, but then we have to deal with the base stability over there, too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure that's going to be the best call. Note, by the way, we are doing a very good job of starting to curtail the push of the Germans, so we will be able to stop them from making any pushes that I won't personally benefit from. I think. Also note that we are still pushing aggressively in this direction, and they're trying to spread their line out real thin to deal with me, which is hilarious because the only way they pulled that off is to leave this area completely exposed, which means we are going to push once again because we can. Australia has capitulated. Oh, Japan, you are looking so scary this game. Oh boy, yeah, an unchecked Japan can be, serious problem. They still haven't finished off the rest of China. And interestingly enough, they are not fighting against the Soviet Union. Usually they are fighting against the Soviets, so that is an interesting turn of events, but still. Oh boy, yeah, I'm not looking forward to Japan. I think I may actually be more scared of Japan than I am of the Germans in this case, which is a complete reversal of what I'm used to, but that may very well be what's going on here. Woohoo, look at that go. I got some more encirclements against the Soviets. What kind of casualties are they looking at this point? Oh, you know, 10 million. Yeah, about 10 million casualties. I've lost about 1.36 million. The Germans themselves have lost 7.5 in this war. Yeah, it seems to be working pretty good, don't it? I think so. I think so. Paratroopers have been researched. That's great. We're going to need more. The extra organization and soft attack can't be underestimated as important, so we're going to go ahead and start working on that. Even though technically I might prefer other technologies and stuff, I do think that's going to be the way to go. You guys need a new front line, and it's basically going to be to push all the way out this direction. And it says that we can't, but I have faith in you guys to figure it out. It should be fine. You guys will need a new front line because we kind of changed the game a little bit. So, I want you to do something kind of like this, if at all possible, and I know that sounds really weird and you're not going to like it, but we're going to try for it, because again, ideally, I don't actually take Moscow. I would, however, love to grab this fort if you're going to give it to me. That makes my life easier, sure. Only a couple more days to find out if I get my spy back. Obviously, I would really like to have that, because extra spies make it a little bit easier for me to go do things against, let's say, in this case, the Germans. A couple hours, and there we go. We do have them back. Perfect, thank you. All right, so let's continue building up some serious spy network against the Germans in whatever area you guys feel is appropriate. Civilian, prepare collaboration government. That's what I want. I need a network strength of 50%. That feels really high, but we can try for it, so we'll go ahead and just keep focusing in one area. 50%, huh? Oh, good lord, you guys keep letting the Allies land. What is wrong with you guys? You could stop this if you wanted to. You could. Freaking heck, just making my life harder for no reason. Germans! Stop being bad! I am sad to see that the Spanish are losing Ireland, too. Aw, man, that was quite an accomplishment that you got that. You guys get too distracted with the Soviets, and then what do? You all get stuck on the frickin' Allies once again. The Allies and their naval strength. It's the one thing that always makes them really annoying to deal with. Just an unbelievably good navy. But that is one of the reasons that I am trying to train up a whole bunch more garrison units down over here. There we go. So that we will be able to deploy more along our coasts and protect ourselves from the dastardly Allied forces. I'm going to go ahead and use some political power and some factories to start developing extra resources in case we need them. A little bit of extra aluminum. I don't really care as much about the oil, but I guess that would be good to do. This doesn't take too long for a little bit. Chromium, only good if I'm going to sell a lot of it off. Mostly care about getting some of this steel. Now, why can't I do this one? We have to have first done modernization through something, which I don't think I have access to. Oh, okay. I'm trying to get some troops over in this area, by the way, so we can try to cut off Moscow, because at that point, the Soviets literally will fall apart before me, which would be very, very helpful. Then I can go ahead and start redeploying some troops. And here we go. Sure enough, La Rochelle now, apparently. Okay, you guys are just such a delight. You're seriously such a delight. Can we try to just go ahead and crush these guys? Yeah, I know, you're all green. Yeah, you all suck. I get it. I need to pull you guys back into the Alps. But these guys should be easy. They shouldn't be able to regenerate like any of their meaningful amount of equipment. Like, why are you guys still struggling? Ah, phooey. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. And there we go. That is right there, a full surround on Moscow. As long as we can hold this and don't let them leave or deploy an absolute ton of troops. And that means at any moment we can take the capital of the Soviets. They are already 72% of the way towards capitulation, so it should be pretty easy to finish them off. I don't remember how many points Moscow's worth exactly. It's a lot. We usually do need to get at least a few more victory points out in the middle of stinking nowhere, though. So we'll continue pushing the front line. I'm not going to get too excited about this. The Germans, in the meantime, are continuing to do their pushes. They actually would like to have a non-aggression pact with me. Which, you know, I can't say that I blame them for wanting that. It all makes perfect sense to me, but I'm not going to let them do it. Do we want to try to get, like, let's say, some investments in free factories from some folks? We could. It'll only take 45 days. What if we made the Germans do that? Do they like me? Not especially. I could improve relations with them, though. What about this? Maybe. Hang on. Let's improve relations with the Germans for a bit. And see if we can ask them for possibly some free factories that'll be used against them promptly. That'll work. Oh, good news. It looks like the Germans were able to actually take care of all this stuff over here. Good, 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 good. So now we should be able to fight against the Allies, who you can see here don't really have much in the way of organization and equipment. At least in a few locations, some of these guys are actually fairly well stocked, while the others are just absolutely terrible, and I'm not really sure why that's the case, and it's costing me a lot to deal with this for you. We have an unbelievable artillery deficit all of a sudden. Whoa! What the actual heck happened? We've also lost a lot of support equipment, and we're losing an absolute ton of infantry equipment. It must be because we just deployed some troops. It is. We just deployed a whole load of troops over here. You know what? Much as I want to continue training up some armies, I'm not doing so at a deficit. Go ahead and cancel this. That should be fine. We'll do this and finish it off. And then we got all of these infantry. I'm hoping now we'll have enough equipment to actually go around. There we go. Woo! That scared me a little bit. Ha ha ha! Okay, so we got ourselves a new offensive army. I'm gonna have to rearrange these guys around some field marshals. But at least this gives me a nice new offensive line I can use somewhere. What I think I would like to do is set up along here with these guys, with the anticipation that what I'm going to do is send them to push across the relatively flat lands, not the mountains, but through Krakow and Warsaw, basically through Poland, and try to get up here toward this river. And if we can hold this, that should cut off all the German forces currently sitting up here in Russia and allow me to rush down the cores. I hope. I also have some troops over here ready to go into what was formerly Vichy France, as well as Spain. Start knocking through all their holdings, if at all possible. We should have a whole new defensive army as well. Let's go ahead and set you guys up. Change your color to something else. What should I do with you? We're going to send you guys to be a line along here, I think. Sure, something like this primarily. I'm going to want to be able to prevent these guys from, like, using, let's say, a cutoff here to choke off all my armies up in Russia. I'm probably going to abandon Russia for the most part, actually, and send all of them down toward the Germans. But for now, this will have to do. Still would love to train up some more defensive infantry. I do still think that is going to be the way to go. You guys can be sent to that army once you are done. All of you are going to be sent to this guy. Okay, looking solid. A lot more troops on the way. This is good. Iran and Afghanistan are surprisingly profiting from this arrangement as well. So, hey, I'm a good ally. Let's also try to set up some basic paratrooper divisions of 20 combat width. Some anti-air and artillery could be helpful. Logistics, because when you're dropping behind enemy lines, supplies are always perhaps the main concern until you can entrench and grab some sort of a port. So this seems reasonable enough. We'll go ahead and save these guys out using my army experience, and then, yeah, we do need to train a handful of these guys, pretty much as many as they'll let me. Only 4? That's not great. I could reduce this a little bit. But as I field more troops, I should be able to train up more special forces then anyway. So, I don't know. That's going to be a little bit awkward. You guys still have a load of ships protecting the UK. The paratroopers are still probably my best hope to be able to take these guys down. I can't say that I'm a fan of this. I feel like this is going to be a little bit costly. By the way, we somehow got a load more steel, which means I can finally start building out a load more submarines. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and start doing there. Could work on some cruisers and stuff, but to be honest, because we're at such a deficit against the Allies, I kind of feel like going for submarines is my only real option. As long as we have enough steel to go around, which at the moment we do, so yeah, let's just keep doing some of that. As far as equipment, again, it's still looking pretty bad. I assume this has to recalculate. Where can I pull off some factories that I don't need? I kind of feel like I need everything I've got as is. What am I currently building? I'm repairing an absolute ton of infrastructure. We need to get more military factories. That's the better thing to do. So wherever we have really high infrastructure, let's go ahead and start working on that. Something I would like to do, if we get the opportunity, is start building that infrastructure highway all the way up toward Siberia, because we're probably going to want to use that against the Japanese in the future. And from past experience, I have certainly learned that you need lots of supply. You need a lot of supply if you're going to be able to deal with the Japanese in Manchukuo. There's just so much ground to cover, and having enough troops, more troops than they do, is a pretty huge advantage. So I would like to do that. Let's see, from my capital, which is in Constantinople, building down this direction's not bad. This actually does seem like a pretty good infrastructure highway, though, so I'm going to go ahead and try to start building something out kind of like this, and it's going to take some time. But we are relatively fast builders, and if we do something like this, we'll be able to start setting up some infrastructures, the infrastructure to carry supply all the way out to those zones. It's gonna be a while before I can take full advantage of this, but it's something. I'll take what I can get. We just researched medium tanks. Okay, we're not too far off from being on time for researching modern tanks. You know, that would be a good compromise. Oh, hello. That would be a good compromise to replace our light tanks eventually. Modern tanks, they're expensive, but mostly because they take a lot of military factory production, but also a lot of chromium. Guess what I have as Turkey, though? Lots of chromium. So we actually might be able to make use of modern tanks, whereas, let's say, the Germans wouldn't be able to get a lot of advantage out of that. Hey, we can start preparing a collaboration government to use against the Germans. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and send the same folks as before, the AA team. Commence when ready. 175 days, of course, is a very long time, and, you know, it's just going to take a very long time. But if we can do it, increasing collaboration by 30% or more, as we found out, against the Germans, will make it a lot easier to take them down. Also, getting that compliance so I can take advantage of all their factories and not need to use quite so much on my, need to use quite so much on my garrisons would certainly be nice. How are we doing with the Soviets? Is it time to finish them off? Almost. Surprisingly, they're not starving for equipment quite as much as I would have expected. They haven't changed this, have they? Where you no longer need to own the capital and all the stuff around the capital in order to maintain your troop supply? If they've changed that, that's a major impact, but I feel like usually by now I'm starting to see a complete lack of supply on the fronts of the Soviets. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. Well, either way. Alright, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Doing great. We're almost done. Got a handful more encirclements working for me, and we are pushing toward a handful more. Okay. So at this point, I think I can end the war against the Soviets at any point. 80% towards capitulation? Yeah, that's completely fine. So Moscow's going to be worth the vast majority, of course. I don't see exactly how many points. Should be a fair bit, though. I think we can basically end this. So now, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. But the Soviets are done for, so what we need to figure out now is how I'm going to rearrange my troops in order to finish these guys off. How much longer do we want to wait? Do we want to train up any more first, or do we want to go for a blitz? I'm kind of leaning toward a blitz, which may mean that what I want to do is actually stop pushing against these guys and actually pull my troops back in preparation for a huge assault. I need to think about that a bit more, but thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button. Do it for the Zargling, if nothing else. Leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
Alright, let's go ahead and do it.